So SDS told us that in February, we're going to be getting the first little snippet of MLB The Show 21. Although, honestly, we might have gotten the first snippet like today, the day that I'm recording this, because apparently the box art leaked. And if that's the box art, I love it. Just yes. And it shows that we may be getting it on multiple platforms, which is also a good thing. But in regards to the franchise mode, which is the thing that I'm going to be talking about today, there are a few things that I wish and hope that they might touch up, change, and just kind of figure out. Because, let's be honest, some of the things that they've done to franchise mode isn't the best. And in the past, 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, they really haven't shown it much love like they did with Diamond Dynasty and even Road to the Show. And I can understand it because Diamond Dynasty has become a huge thing. And not just with baseball, the online stuff has become huge in all the sports. And Road to the Show is just a mode that everybody likes playing because it's you and you can put yourself in it. And I can understand why they've shown those two more love. But I do want franchise to just get something, So today I'm going to be sharing with you the 6 things that I want them to do in MLB The Show 21. But maybe some of them will happen. Probably none of them will happen. Let's be honest with ourselves. But we're going to start out with the first one. And the first one is more of a smaller thing. And I'm here in a franchise in 2028. Because I want to go to the GM goals and show you, look at the left side of the free recent history. You can only see to 2024. Let's say you're 8, 10, 15, 20 years into a franchise and you just want to see, how did I do when I first started compared to now? When did I start winning? When did I start losing? Something like that. You can't look at it. And you can't see who won the MVP for this year. How many MVPs did they win? You can't look at that stuff. I want the details to be more in depth, and I want us to be able to just see things that have happened in the past. I feel like that would be just something really nice for people who are like me, who like statistics, and guaranteed we can see him with players like Torkelson because he's a prospect. I can see what he did when he was called up, and I can see all the years, and even so, I would like some of these statistics to be a little more, updated. I want to see, how did he do against right-handed hitters? What did he do against left-handed hitters? Stuff like that, I feel would make it, a lot nicer for people like me who like statistics. But that's just, the smaller thing. That's kind of, more nitpicky than anything. I would love them to do it, but will they do it? Probably not. But we're going to go into the second thing, and I want them to bring back the stadium vendors, the prices, the stuff that they used to do back in MLB The Show 8, 7, 9, 10, way back before the online thing was a huge thing as it is now. But I also have to remember that back then, their franchises used to be 5, 6 years. They didn't allow you to go so far. They didn't allow you to just go until you felt like you just had to stop, right? You could just do whatever you wanted. And I understand that. But I just feel like it would be so much better for us to be able to just set any kind of prices for anything in the stadium itself. That way we can make the money that way. And that would probably push me more to playing with the budgets turned on. But because I don't play with them on a lot because I just feel like it's too constricting. I understand that people love to play with them on. Some people like myself don't like to play with them on. And even when I don't play with them on, I don't spend all of my money. I don't sit there and try to have $400 or $500 million rosters and everything like that. But I just wish they would bring them back. And I guess it's a caveat in my mind, but not a caveat in a lot of other people's minds. A 2A kind of thing. And for me, is they should allow us to make our own stadiums. Guaranteed, they allowed us to, kind of rebrand our teams this year, but all we really get to do is just choose another MLB stadium or a minor league stadium. You don't really get to put your logo in it. You don't get to put your your team stuff in it. It's just you're playing it. You want to be the fucking whatever, you're stuck playing in the Indian stadium. You know, you don't really get to choose you don't really get to make your own stadium with your own dimensions. And that's the thing that they did back in 2005 with not MLB The Show, the MVP ones. But I know they said they've been trying to do it. I know they probably want to make it as good as they can before they do it. But obviously that's something that everybody wants to be able to do. And hopefully they make it happen this year, if not next year. All right, so now I'm in a new franchise 2020, and I wanted to show the next part kind of here rather than the new one. We'll go back to that for a later one, but I wanted to show more things that are this year, kind of, and just explain some of the things that I want. All right, so the third thing that I want them to do is to allow us to make trades with more than just 3 players per team. Look at the trades that have been going on recently. You got 4 people, 5 people, sometimes 6 people, depending on who's going back and forth. You got a 4 for 2, you got a 1 for 5. You know, we can't do that in MLB The Show. We can only do 3 for 3. That's the most you can do. I wish they would just allow us to trade as many people as we want for as many people as we want back, you know? And to add on to it as a 3A, allow us to do 3-team trades. I would love to have a 3-team trade between the Yankees, the fucking Reds, and Phillies, just for 3 random teams that jump to mind. I'd love to do 3-team trades, you know? Bring my prospect here, bring the big guy from that one to that one, and we just switch back and forth. But it's not in the game. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was if we go out of here, if we allow ourselves to do 3-team trades, if we allow ourselves to just trade as many players as we want, the other thing that I would want as a 3B is allow us to have more people than 90 on a team. Make it more, make it 100, 120, 115, 110, something, just something more. I feel like we could have a full single A team, and then maybe you do a rookie ball, and that one has 15 players, you know? I feel like it's just, I don't know, I just want more players. Am I crazy for wanting that? You could do 26 for the first 4, which brings it out to 104, and then you can do, let's say, 16 on the last one, which will bring it to 120. That works. That perfectly works. So you can have MLB triple, double, and single A. Rookie ball will have 16. Everybody else has their 26. And I think everybody will be a happy camper. Give me more players to work with. Allow me more players to trade. And allow me more teams to trade with. I think that's a reasonable request. But will it happen? I guess time will tell. For the fourth thing that I want them to do, I want them to do more in-depth scouting. Because let's be honest, most of us, when it comes to scouting in franchise mode, at least in my experience with the people that I've watched and just in general that I've seen, people just kind of let it go automatically. I let it go automatically for the most part. If I feel like there are certain people that I want, I'll turn it to manual and go, okay, that guy looks really good, I'll scout him. But for the most part, it's just automatic. Give us an in-depth way of scouting these players. Give us certain ways to make us understand more how to scout players, and why should I go for Lewis Finch instead of Caden Lopez, you know, something like that. Give me reasons to go, okay, that guy, because let's see, those potentials look pretty good, but for Lewis those potentials also look pretty good, so why should I choose one over the other? It's just the little things like that. And to carry on with the whole making more than 90 players per team, allow us to have more draft rounds. Currently we have 6 draft rounds, and I can understand why there's only 6, because you know, you only have 90 players to work with, and you're bound to not lose 6 players to you know, retiring or maybe even free agency in a given year. So then you kind of just got to work with everything, go from there. But I would love for them to give us, let's say, 10 draft rounds, a few more players in the system, say 110 to 120, and just give us a better way to, you know, kind of scout the players. All right, so for number 5, I came back to the franchise in the future, the one in 2028, because this is something that I feel like they just fucked up in 2 different aspects. So the first one, I was hoping he was on the, Braves still, but he's not on the Braves still. He's on the Astros now. If we go to Acuna, he's 31 and his overall's an 81. He regressed so badly in the past 2 years, 2027 and 2028. He just regressed. And look at all the years prior. He was still hitting 30 bombs a year, 30 doubles a year, driving in almost 100 a year, hitting at least 270 almost every single year. OPS like 900 every year. And then he turns 30 and he just drops. Why? What makes him drop that hard? Is it because he hit 8 to 10 years and he started when he was like 21? What's the decision making for that to make any kind of sense? I don't get it. Could it be like he was platoon and he just fucking dropped? I don't get it. Something like this needs to like change in my eyes. That should not happen to Acuna at 31 in his prime. That just should not happen. And it didn't just happen to Acuna in this one. It also happened to Juan Soto. He's 30. He is dropping. He has played full years every single year. He has hit 900 OPS almost every single year. Sometimes even more than 1,000. He's hit 30 bombs a year almost every single year. 30 doubles every year. 180 hits every year. He's done everything fantastically. He hit 30. He hit the 10 years. And he just forgot how to play baseball in his prime. That should not happen. And it also happens with players. Take somebody who's 35, 36. They have a fantastic year. They're hitting, let's say, 280, 20 home runs. They're not like, let's say they're not much of a home run hitter. Like a DJ LeMahieu kind of guy. Well, not DJ LeMahieu. You would think he'd hit more like 300, 310. Fine, let's go with DJ. Let's say DJ hit 300. He hit 20 home runs. Had 100 and whatever hits. And he had an OPS of like 900. And he had like a fielding percentage of 995. If he was in his 35, 36 year, he would have this kind of drop off. And it doesn't make sense. Players don't just drop off because they played good, even though they're older. It just doesn't make sense some of the times that these players just drop off. I don't get it. I feel like this is something that they just have to figure out. It might be something in the coding that kind of screws everything up. Or maybe it's the decision that they made like 2 or 3 years ago where it's like, oh, they're getting older. They're going to start to suck more. But push it back. Push it back. Okay? SDS, just not everybody just dies from playing baseball at 34. Okay? Some people can play till 39 and still be pretty productive. And for the last main thing that I want them to change in the franchise mode is dealing with the free agents. So when you come up with a free agent, let's go with somebody that's not automatically going to go with the 31 million. And all right, I guess there's a caveat to this. Allow us to do more than 31 million, please. Sometimes I want to do a little more than that. But anyway, let's go with somebody like... Let's go with Hunter Harvey. Why not? Let's say, all right, he wants about 10 million a year for about 4 years. That's basically what it's telling me he wants. So what you can do is you can do whatever you want. You can add, you can subtract, you can, for however many years you want, you can give him an option. Oh, because I have it on one. It won't do it. You can give him an option for player, for club, or for both. Okay, that's fine. You can give him the certain kind of role that he wants, and you can do a payout structure of normal, backloaded, or front-loaded. But what I would like to do is, let's say I give him a contract. Let's say I give him 2 years, 19 million. Let's say I do that. Let's say I put it in. That's my offer to him. If he wants to join my team, I'd like for him to do like a counter offer. or maybe we can have like some kind of negotiation. Like, I would just want a little more interactivity when it comes to this. And let's say this can be optional. All right, let's just say that this is something that you can put in like that first screen where it's like, do you want GM contracts? Do you want to have an auto DH? Do you, all that stuff? Let's say, do you want interactive free agents? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. But I just want them to do something along the lines of like, let's say I do that. He comes back with, how about 333? And then we just negotiate back and forth. This way, you know, players aren't getting off the free agency market in 3 days. And it can maybe feel a little more like a real free agency. A real off season, you know, because all the guys are gone before like the end of November. Not even like the middle of November. All the guys, everybody that's like 88 and above will be gone. Every single one of them. Maybe one will not, because, you know, just takes a little while to sign them. But for the most part, everybody is gone, and that's just not how a real off season works. And the second thing to do with the like off-season signing, and I guess you could put maybe extensions in along with it, is I want them to allow us to not just sit here and have like, do you want a payout structure for backloaded? Do you want a front loaded? Allow us to decide however much per year for the player. Like, let's say I want to do 4 for 40 million. Maybe the first year I want to give him 8 million. The second year I want to give him 9 million. The next year I want to give him 10 million. And the last year I want to give him, what would that leave me with? 12 or 13 million. Allow me to do that. Or maybe the first year I want to give him 15 million. The second year I want to give him 10 million. You know, allow us to have that words. Create-tillability. The fuck is that, Connor? Oh, Lord. But allow us to have that power. Allow us to have, just allow us to do that, okay? That's all I ask. But those are the 6 things that I want to have in MLB The Show's franchise mode for 2021 and maybe even 2022 and beyond. What do you want in MLB The Show franchise? Let me know down in the comments below. I don't think I'll do this for DD or Road to the Show, mainly because with those, I'm kind of happy with where they are for the most part. The content is pretty good. I like the modes. I just like everything that has to do with it. I think the only thing I would say for Road to the Show is like, give me a reason to spend the money that you get for your character in that. But otherwise, it's pretty good as is. And DD, you know, all the cards, all the modes, I like them all, so I'm not really upset with anything there. But what would you want in a franchise? Let me know down in the comments below. And tell me, do you think my ideas are good or bad? Well, with all that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you liked anything, leave a like. If you want to just stick with us, and by us I mean me, if you want to stick with me and just watch my content, I'll have franchise stuff going on. I'll have Diamond Dynasty going on. I might do Road to the Show starting next year, 2022, something like that, if I feel like doing it. And with all that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next one.